Today I'm sharing a really clever stencil and die set that allows you to quickly line up all of the stencil areas and then use these little markings that are built into the stencil that match up to the die to create a perfectly cut set of flowers. It comes together quickly, so to see this clever little die stencil technique, stick around. That video is coming up next. Here's a look at the products I'm using today, and this is called Bloom Smith Florals from Pink Fresh Studio. That shows the flowers that I'll be creating, and the cool thing is this is a single die and stencil set that has these cool little triangles that once you blend them, you line them up with the triangles on the die, and it's a one-pass cut and done. I have some beautiful greetings as well, so let's get started with ink blending. I've cut a piece of cardstock that is a little bigger than what I need, and I'm going to be using my stamp wheel with the sticky mat today and taking advantage of pressing the stencil into the corner. However, you don't need to do this because of these triangles. I just like to do this when I'm stenciling because I love that little corner that you can just jam your stencil into just like this. Now I am going to tape it because I don't want this to shift at all while I'm blending. But the first layer that's coming down is soft lilac. The colors I've chosen today are analogous. I have my big fluffy brushes and my cute little brush holder. And what this means is they're just colors that you will find following one another on the color wheel. And when you stick with analogous color, you can pretty much bank on you're not going to make something that looks like a hot mess. The colors will feel coordinated and like they belong, and that is simply because of the order of the rainbow, which is, it's a pretty smart design. But I'm going backwards here with the rainbow. So we're starting with this soft lilac for layer one. And once I get all my color down, I will be cleaning all of my stencils off in between. I'm not going to show it on camera, but I just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol from the drugstore and just spritz it on, cleans the stencils, and they dry immediately. Now see those triangles, how it's lining up perfectly with the openings? That's what you can use to help if you don't have a corner or something like what I'm using today. I'm bringing in my waterfall. That's a nice, beautiful blue. And make sure that you go over those triangles again because it's going to get them darker and darker as you go and give you a really nice guide when it's time to line up the die. So there is layer two. Layer three comes in, and I'm going to switch to a darker blue just to bring in another color. But again, these are all going together really well, analogous, like I said. And I often will swirl off onto my glass mat just so that it doesn't come in blotchy. I know some people will do this on the inside of their ink pad lids. I just never do because I don't know, it's messy, and, I can always get a re-inker. I know that sounds excessive, but here I go over those triangles again, and we know we are lined up, and we are nailing it. The final layer is the greenery. Now, I love when a stencil set only has 4 layers. This is really fast to put together. You can try different color combos and not have to, worry that, oh, I spent so much time. No, just lay down a few and see if you like what you're creating. This makes it really fun to easily experiment. I mean, of course, a lot of times we are going to stick with greens for leaves and stems, but I really love the ease at which this comes together. Now I'm bringing in a darker color. This is eucalyptus because I want some of the stems to be darker, so I'm just masking off the lighter ones with the Post-it notes. And the thing is, what we are blending here is actually a little larger than the elements on the die. So even if you're not perfectly lined up, it is going to create enough of a gap, if you will, so that you're going to get the full color on your die cuts. It'll make sense when I cut it out. I decided to bring stencil number 1 back in because I wanted to add a little bit of that waterfall color. So I'm using a small brush here just to sweep on a little over the lilac flowers. I love that color that happens when blues and purples come together. And so I'm adding a little to the top, small flowers, and my larger brush just had a little left on the blue, and I'm just sweeping that around the edges, and it just sort of elevates that purple lavender tone. And that's it. And that's the blending. Now comes the fun. You line up the triangles, and you can see right there, they look pretty lined up. Place it down. Now I have a magnetic mat, and even so, I'm still going to put a little tape on this. I have my metal shim behind the magnetic mat, and this might have been a little too much pressure because it will slip a tiny bit. You can see it right there on that top triangle. But again, like I said, because the area you are stenciling is bigger than the cuts, it's no problem. There's no white edge showing around any of the elements as I push them out. And you get that gorgeous detail that really does step up these die cuts by giving it all of that embossed texture. I think this is really cool and I love how it looks. Each element has a little something on it, and it's just going to give a little more depth and dimension to what would be otherwise flat die cuts. Love it. I wanted to add a little more dimension, so I'm putting some foam squares just on the flowers. These are thin foam squares. I like to use a little liquid glue so that I can wiggle it right into where I want it to be. And I thought that would be nice just for casting that little shadow and having that extra dimension. So a little on each, a little liquid glue, and the centers of the flowers are popped into place. I'm adding I don't know, are those bellflowers? They're cute, whatever they are, and they go right on to the little circle parts of the stem. And then we'll do the big flowers. I love those big circles up there to hold the flowers. And I'm just going to position my flower. I like to have the stem going into like two petals where they meet. That's just how I do it. I know people could do it differently, but I like that look where it's coming into where two petals meet. And then the last one more little flower. And now I have all of the elements that are going to go into the design of the card. Now it's time to do a greeting, and I picked a couple of greetings that were more elongated than tall. And I do this often where I'll just do a couple at a time and take the one that works the best. I'm using my stamp conditioning eraser just to prime these for first time use. And now adding anti-static powder all over the paper just so that when I add my embossing powder, it only sticks to my clear sticky Versamark ink. We'll ink these up, stamp them down, and I'll use my little stamp press tool to glide over my misty door. And we'll hit it one more time just to get a nice coating of ink. And I thought I would use silver powder today because of the cool tones, and I really like the look of silvers with cool tone inks. So this is a powder from Simon Says Stamp. I love this silver powder. Once I add everything, it's looking pretty good. I will take a little brush that I have, it's just a little angled shader, just to wipe away any small pieces of powder, because even though I use that anti-static powder, sometimes powder still will stick in places where you don't want it. And then you'll just heat up your heat tool and melt the powder until it's shiny and smooth. I think both of these greetings turned out beautifully, so whichever one doesn't get used today can be set aside for another card. I've got my dies in place, I'll run that through, and they both cut out really well. So again, which one will be the one? Well, yeah, you will see, but I am going to cut out one more layer of each die cut, just so that this greeting can feel a little more substantial, because I'll glue those together for a little more depth, and I'll cut that out off camera. I used a really old Pink Fresh die that I have to create that little ticking sort of edge. I will link to something similar from Pink Fresh, and I love how that looks, and I love how it's smaller than the flowers. I have this blue cardstock. This is Sea Glass from Gina K Designs, and I thought it would be really pretty with that kind of linked to the light blue in the flowers. So I'm going to pop it up and see how it has that nice framing margin edge. Love that. And I'll arrange the flowers. And I thought it would look cool to have the flowers extending off of that little white matte area just for, something interesting. I love when a design can expand out of a contained area. Now, the one thing I wish I would have done is done the white panel first and trimmed the stems. You'll see why in a minute. I'm going to use scissors to do it because I changed my mind on the bottom, but I love how that pops out on the top like that. So I'm mostly adding glue to the bottom-most layer, which is the stem. Not as worried about the flowers being held down too tightly to the cardstock. But again, see how that extends out into the margin on the right? I love that. We'll add this flower in. That will be a little lower. And sometimes too, when I'm placing flowers, I'm not always thinking about where the greeting is going to go just yet. I kind of want to get the artwork right first, and then the greeting will follow. But I wish I would have trimmed the bottom first and not mounted the panel. However, I'm going to bring in some scissors. I'm going to do my best. Not great at it. Now, I thought maybe up top, but then I thought, I like it down at the bottom. I like everything shifted off to the right. And I placed foam squares just so that they would not hit the stems, so that I would have a nice, even, level greeting. Again, I put that little bit of glue on so I can wiggle and make sure it's exactly where I want it to be. So I wanted to come up just a bit, wiggle, and adhere. I thought that looked pretty good. Okay, next, we're going to bring in those scissors. Now, again, like I said, I wish I would have done this with a paper trimmer. It's cleaner. This does not look horrible. And I'm even going to hit it a little bit more in just a bit. But I think, But here, okay, boop, I have little embellishments. These are so beautiful. This color is called ice. They're just like a clear drop embellishment, but they are backed with silver. So they are like little mirrors with glass on them, and they are absolutely gorgeous. So I tried cutting a little more, and again, I kind of started to mess it up. So I brought in my bone folder because sometimes you can actually smooth out some of the jankiness that you create. But again, I should have done that with a paper trimmer, but it's still going to look great. And because I was feeling the embellishments, I had to put some in the center of the round portions of the flowers. I think these embellishments and this card is so beautiful. I love how it turned out. And so let's do a quick design review. So here I'll bring in my overlay grid, and we can talk about the structure of the card. So of course, this is a compositional grid. It just helps to point out where things are in this design. Now, if you notice, we've got 2 columns here in the grid, and most of the content is shifted over to the right. So this is really more of an asymmetrical balance. And I love having a little bit more open over on this side, just a few flowers cascading into that space. And I love the placement on that. We have our greeting down here in this lower 2 boxes, right? It could have been up here, would have been an ideal placement, but that flower was in the place of this space. And that's what happens sometimes. The grid is nice. It helps me when I'm thinking about where to put things, but that doesn't always mean that I'm going to use it exactly as the grid is laid out. Now let's see here. What else do we have going on? We have repetition of color with our lavenders. We have our blues repeating, and the note card also picks up on that blue. We have our repeating green tones, and we have our beautiful, and these really, again, I don't know where these have been all my life, but they were in a drawer, and now they're going to stay out. Oh, yeah, this is a different one. Look at this. I have one in ice and one in iridescent. Both are beautiful. So we have our nice repetition. And again, I have this little cascade here kind of connecting a visual line. We also pick up silver again with the embossing. And Well, I guess you have your white background here and your white background on this greeting as well. And that sums up the design points on this card. Well, I guess also the details. The details repeat on all of the elements, and that's another element that is repeating. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. I'll have a blog post with photos and more details as well. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you. So please hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here is another video you may be interested in checking out, and I'll see you in that clip. Thanks for watching and have a great day.